Coming up on this episode of NPS Now, employees celebrate their retirement, the annual NEF Golf Classic took place, and a 111-year-old receives a special honor. All that and more next on NPS Now. Hello and welcome to NPS Now, your source for news and information about Norfolk Public Schools. I'm your host, Karen Tanner. Each year, Norfolk Public Schools highlights the accomplishments of its retirees at a special awards ceremony. Dawn Anderson has this year's story.
A very special class of 2014 boarded the Spirit of Norfolk to celebrate a milestone in their careers: retirement from Norfolk Public Schools.
It is so important to celebrate our employees because they have dedicated their lives to our wonderful children, and certainly what we did here today was just a very small token of our appreciation. They have made many sacrifices. They've lost lots of time with their families, and we just wanted to celebrate them today for everything that they've done for our beautiful, brilliant children here in Norfolk.
The celebration included a luncheon and award ceremony that recognized 129 employees who have a range of service from a few years to 44 years.
It's been a wonderful job. It's been my dream job. I mean, people say physical education, but I knew at 12 what I wanted to do. I really wanted to teach physical education because I had such a wonderful role model. So I hope maybe I've left some good impressions with children that they can carry with them and foster with their lives to come. So it's been a wonderful job.
It's been very nice, very interesting. It's been a roller coaster ride. A lot of things change over the years, but the friendliness never did. You know, there's always a smiling face somewhere, encouragement. You know, you get to know people. If you look real close, there's a lot of love in Norfolk Public Schools.
I came in 1973, and fortunately enough, I've taught all three levels, elementary, middle school, and high school. And when I came in, I was certified to teach all three levels, along with several endorsements. So if I didn't do one thing academically, I could do another. So I was very happy to move about in the system. And with the support of my parents, oh my God, it's been wonderful.
Retirees explained why the work has been wonderful for them.
I think the fact that you feel like you're a family in the school system, especially when I came in, everybody knew everybody, and it just felt comfortable, and I feel privileged to have been able to stay with a company for so many years.
I have nothing but love for the students, nothing but love for my coworkers. I also feel that it was for me to be a school teacher. I accepted teaching as a personal assignment, my destiny in life. And I believe also that's one reason why I've been extremely successful in my career. I've only been at 2 schools in my career. I started first at Norfolk Middle. I was there for about 6 years. Left Norfolk Middle, and I've been at Retiree for 34 years. So just think, in my career, only 2 schools, that's fortunate.
And her advice to the new employees?
You must maintain a positive attitude. You must accept your sense of purpose, and you must be very positive, and you must be in it to win it. You must really love the students and what you do. Get to know the students, be real with them, show them genuine love, and you'll be successful.
Some of the retirees Dawn spoke with said they plan to relax for a few months and then come back to Norfolk Public Schools as volunteers. Booker T. Washington's recent graduation ceremony featured a very special graduate. 111-year-old Lela Babb Burden began her education here in Norfolk, but had to leave school in 1918 because of an influenza pandemic. Burden never made it back to school, but on June 17th, she was presented with an honorary diploma from Booker T. Washington High School, the school she would have graduated from. So how does Ms. Burden feel about receiving her diploma?
Wonderful, wonderful. And I think I tell people, I say I went no higher than the 4th grade. Queen Street Public School, which was Smallwood then, and I never thought God is good all the time.
I'm so appreciative of the Norfolk Public Schools system, Dr. King, and everyone who worked to make sure that this happens, and she deserves every bit of it.
A select group of Maury High School seniors were honored at a special graduation ceremony at Eastern Virginia Medical School. For the past 28 years, Norfolk Public Schools and EVMS have collaborated to bring the Medical Health Specialties program to fruition. This program is designed to expose students to the diverse field of medicine and other healthcare-related fields. This year, 27 seniors took the student Hippocratic Oath before receiving their certificates.
I think this is an amazing opportunity. I can't believe that I've been able to work with actual cadavers, during anatomy, being able to interact and actually learn about the human body, because I feel like in other high schools, you don't get that kind of experience. This program has really helped me expand my knowledge on medicine and different types of things in the medical field. I feel like it's really exposed me to a lot, and I'm really grateful for it.
It's just such an honor because this is one of the premier programs in Norfolk and Virginia, so it's really great to just have all these great experiences. It was wonderful to go to anatomy and get to use all the cadavers. That's a very unique experience no one else has, so I've been honored to be a part of this program.
Norview High School seniors got a legal look at life after high school thanks to a special panel discussion entitled Sawyer 18. The program, which was organized by the Southampton Roads Bar Association, featured attorneys, a sitting judge, and the vice mayor. Each member of the panel discussed a particular area of law and how it could affect students in the long run.
It's important to let the students know that they're 18, soon to be 18, or about to graduate from high school, and with that comes a lot of responsibilities. And so we were here today to discuss not only the laws and how they affect them, but landlord-tenant issues and how that affects them, contracts and different things that may affect them, also voting. So it's important to let them know that.
Norview High School also held a special assembly to honor 2 of their graduates. During this ceremony, Robert Hall received his certificate of appointment to the U.S. Naval Academy Prep School, and Jada Lane Ferrer received her certificate of appointment to the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. Both of these outstanding seniors received over $1 million in scholarship funds. The Norfolk Education Foundation also recently raised a lot of funds while adults had a lot of fun. Amanda Verrata has the story.
The second annual NEF Golf Classic at Cypress Point Country Club was yet again a big success. Dozens of community members, sponsors, and NPS employees came out to enjoy a round of golf and support our school district.
Well, I'm on the board for Norfolk Education Foundation, and a couple of years ago we decided to start having golf tournaments, make a little bit of money, have some fun, because everything else we do seems to be so serious. So I think everybody's having a great time.
This is probably one of the largest fundraisers that the Norfolk Public Schools Foundation has every year. And so last year was very profitable. We have a lot of people who do business with Norfolk Public Schools that are here in support. We've got a lot of community leaders that are here in support. We've got the Sheriff's Department in support, the Police Department. Everyone is here. And I think everybody is happy to be here in support of Norfolk.
This year, teams of high school students competed against one another for the Superintendent's Cup. The students benefited from sponsors who enabled them to play 18 holes for free. The competition was tight, but Norview High School was declared the winner of the inaugural tournament.
It feels good. It feels good. We were playing right behind Granby, and we were watching them here. We were like, oh man, we got some tough competition out here, and we knew we had it in us, and we pulled it out. So it was really good.
This event also marked the formal announcement of the new First Tee program, which will benefit both elementary and middle school students.
We are in collaboration with the YMCA, First Tee of Hampton Roads, and Norfolk Parks and Recreation Department. And I'm really excited that all of 33 of our elementary schools, all of our students will be engaged in the game of golf this fiscal year as a part of the inherent curriculum for health and PE. At the middle school level, we're going to do the very same thing. We're going to take it to another level. Those babies will be hitting with real clubs. And I'm really excited because this will feed right into our high school golf program. We're going to have a lot of little tigers running around.
At the end of the day, awards were handed out and sponsors were recognized. But it's students and teachers who will benefit from the generosity of those who participated.
It's all about the kids. Bottom line, I mean, at some point you got to give back, and this is a great way to do it and feel like you're getting something too by playing and having a good time.
This year's NEF Golf Classic surpassed its goal of raising $50,000 thanks to everyone who was involved in this great event. A wide variety of occupations were on display during Norview Elementary's Career Day. Inside, students learned what sound engineers, opticians, and firefighters do. And outside, they got an up-close look at vehicles used by construction workers and rescue personnel, along with various types of Navy vehicles. Clearly, this hands-on Career Day helps students experience the many job opportunities available to them in the near future.
I hope they see another part of the Navy. I mean, most people just think the Navy is just big ships, big great boats sailing in the ocean, and they don't know about this small part of our piece of the pie. So we brought out one of our Humvees, one of our pickup trucks, one of our boats, and obviously one of our trucks, just to show here for Career Day today.
It's really important for children to see all the opportunities that are available to them, whether it's military, public service, private business, just to show options to children no matter how young you are.
Healthy competition took place as 4th and 5th graders showcased their love of reading during Mr. Knolenberg's Battle of the Books. Students were required to read from the Virginia Reader and Library Association's list.
They read 7 books throughout the course of the year, and their coaches work with them to make sure they know all the details of the books. Abigail Doherty creates the questions for each round, and the students compete head-to-head competition on books, Jeopardy style.
One thing is we think that when they're reading 7 novels over the course of a year, they're building their background knowledge and they're really building experience and a love for reading. Because it's a team effort, it really helps to kind of bond the students. They work together to create questions and quiz each other. There's no specific time in the day that they meet, and so these students and their coaches are giving up extra time to come together and practice the questions and read the books and discuss. So it really is deepening their comprehension because they're writing the questions and then discussing them and quizzing each other as they get closer to the actual rounds.
Congratulations to Crossroads Elementary for winning the 4th grade division, while Ingleside Elementary took home 1st place for the 5th grade. Granby Elementary students from Janice Frazier's 4th grade class were rewarded for their creativity on the Call Before Digging poster contest, sponsored by Virginia Natural Gas. The class, which was one of 3 in Norfolk to win, got a pizza party and a treasure chest full of treats. Most importantly, these students learned how vital it is to call 811 before digging anywhere.
Important to know you should call 811 because if you start digging and you accidentally hit a power line or a gas line, you could severely injure yourself. It could be very harmful.
And it also could cost a lot of money because it might like if you hit the water line, it might flash flood. So you might have to pay for that, and so it's not good at all. So you need to make sure that you call 811 and respect the marks, respect all 5 steps. Make sure you follow them every time.
Well, their poster won because it was so good. It covered all the elements that we want to try to teach the youngsters to take forward, to take to their parents, and to remember when they get older about how you need to call, you need to wait and have the lines marked. When you dig, you need to respect the lines, and then you need to dig or excavate carefully. And they had all those elements, so it was perfect.
Students at Northside Middle School showed their support for some of their fellow classmates by participating in a juvenile diabetes awareness walk. Well over half the school got involved by donating $1 each to walk around the school, and they also learned a bit about young people with type 1 diabetes.
There's really no cure out there, and I just feel like there's not enough education for type 1 diabetes. You don't hear about it a lot, so I think it's really important to advocate and really get the news out there and really just inform people.
In only its 3rd year, School Nutrition Summer Food Service Program was recognized for its significant growth. Virginia's First Lady, Dorothy McAuliffe, presented the award during a special assembly at Coleman Place Elementary. This event also served as the national kickoff of the Summer Food Service Program and featured NFL player Everett Brown, who talked to students about the importance of eating well and staying active.
Well, we're so excited to be kicking off the Summer Meals program with the Norfolk Public School District, and we're just really proud of their progress and the achievement that they've made in terms of feeding more kids over the summer months. We know it's really important.
Well, we certainly recognize that feeding kids during the school year is important. Well, summer is equally important because if kids are going to be ready to learn when school starts, they've got to make sure they're well nourished during the summer.
It's our third summer here in Norfolk that we're sponsors, and we feed about 7,000 children every day in the city of Norfolk in the summertime. So we're really excited to bring it back again. You can tune into the website and to your school lunch menu to find out where to come for school meals in the summertime.
The school board of the City of Norfolk will hold a public work session on the 12th floor of the School Administration Building on Wednesday, July 9th at 1 p.m. The work session will be aired live on WNPS-TV 47 and on the NPS website. If you have any great story ideas or events happening at your school, please be sure to contact us at npsnews@npsk12.com. Stay tuned for more NPS Now after this.
Welcome back to NPS Now. I'm Steve Sutmiller, Senior Coordinator of Athletics. Today we have two special guests in the studio to talk about NCAA guidelines and eligibility for our student athletes. First, we have head coach Delton Cotton from Norview High School. Welcome. And we have Michael Gibbs from Old Dominion University. Coach Cotton, what do you do at Norview High School for our student athletes?
Well, first of all, I'm one of the graduation coaches, one of the new positions in Norfolk. But I'm the head football coach and also handle the NCAA clearinghouse eligibility forms and things like that for students, and also work with the SAT and ACT program.
Okay. Mike, what's your role at Old Dominion?
I'm the academic compliance coordinator. So the three main areas that I oversee in my role are continuing eligibility, initial eligibility, and then NCAA eligibility center for all of our 18 sports.
Okay. All right, that's a great lead-in. We're going to stay with you.
Okay.
So tell us a little bit about the eligibility center. We hear that a lot. The clearinghouse, don't know what's the correct term, and how do our student athletes, how do they get involved in that? What do parents need to know, and then what do even our coaches need to know about that?
Yeah, great question. The NCAA Eligibility Center was formerly the Clearinghouse. They've changed that name, so it's NCAA Eligibility Center. And in order to play a Division I or Division II sport, you will have to register with the Eligibility Center as a student athlete, and then they will certify your academic and amateurism credentials. So if you're not certified through the Eligibility Center, you're not going to be able to participate as a college athlete in Division I or Division II.
Okay, participation, does that also include scholarship money and things like that? So.
Yeah, in order to, if you have scholarships, in order to receive those, you're going to have to be certified as well.
Okay. All right, Coach, what's the process for a student athlete to begin certification? When should they do it? What should a parent know about that? I mean, does it start when they're in 8th grade, 9th grade? I mean, when does that happen?
Well, really, the process starts when they are in the 8th grade or 9th grade, because it starts when their transcript officially starts, their high school transcript. But the first thing, most colleges and universities require students to have their clearinghouse information filled out by their junior year. It gives them time to process some of the stuff in the 9th and 10th grade, and possibly even some in the 11th grade. And it also gives them time to see what kind of student athlete they are as far as the clearinghouse. So the process starts in the 9th grade, but the main process of signing up for the clearinghouse is normally done in the 11th grade year.
All right, from the university perspective, how is that worked through then?
Yeah, essentially like what Coach Cotton said, once the transcript, that 6th semester, when they've completed the junior year, coaches will start to present transcripts to us. They'll give us a name and the NCAA ID number, which you get after you register. And, if they're interested in, your son or daughter, they'll give us a transcript. And on our side, we use the NCAA Eligibility Center to do a preliminary evaluation. So we can kind of look at what they've completed up to that point of 6 semesters or 7 semesters and determine, are they on track to do what they need to do academically. And it also gives the parents a chance to kind of find out too in the process, is your son or daughter on track. The parents can get involved. I know that you had asked about that. they can actually use the resources section in the NCAA Eligibility Center account for their son or daughter. And they have some different resources like the College Bound Guide for student athletes, and they can actually look at the school's list of NCAA approved courses.
All right, both of you have kind of commented on the Eligibility Center. How does a student athlete actually sign up for it? How does the parent sign up for it? I mean, is it a web-based thing? Is it pen and paper? I mean, what's that process?
Actually, it can be both. They can do it either pen and paper, or they can do it on the web. Normally, their school counselor has the forms or have the the ability to get them online to get signed up for the clearinghouse. It's a real easy process. It is a fee attached to it.
That's important to know.
That and I believe it's $50 still. I don't know, $50 or $60. And also, kids can get waivers for it. If kids get an SAT or ACT waiver, they may be able to get a waiver for the clearinghouse also.
And anything to follow up on that?
Yeah, just to add, I mean, in terms of the website that you would want to look to, it's www.eligibilitycenter.org is the website that you would want to go to.
Okay.
And very easy, there's a big button right in the center that you click. It says I'm a student athlete. And then, you go through and fill out basic demographic information. And like Coach Cotton said, you pay the fee, and then you get your ID number. And then as you kind of go along with the process, you'll have to submit your test scores and transcripts eventually. But
all right, Mike, we hear a lot about core GPA courses, overall GPA courses. Explain the difference to everybody on what we need to know about those two.
Okay, yeah. The NCAA core course GPA, the NCAA will look at certain courses, so they're going to look at your English, your math, your science, social science, and foreign language. And so that's how they use those subjects to compile what they call your core course GPA. And then in terms of your overall cumulative GPA, that will be based more on the institution side. So, whatever is your overall GPA on your transcript is what, most of your institutions will look at.
Coach, for a student athlete, when should they get involved in these core courses in their high school career?
Well, in their high school career, the 9th grade, when they start taking English classes, their first English class is a core class. Most students come in taking Algebra 1 and Earth Science and all those courses that are considered as core classes. So it's important that they understand that those classes are what really counts. It's not that electives are not important, but those classes are the classes that really count, and the NCAA is coming down with even tougher sanctions on how students, are able to use those courses.
And so how does Norfolk Public Schools assure that these identified student athletes are in these proper courses?
Well, the basic graduation requirement covers the majority of the core classes. When you start getting up in a higher level math classes is when you can get actually extra core classes that can possibly replace other classes that you may need. And Norfolk does a great job with students taking foreign languages. Most of our kids are in foreign language classes, which is considered as another core class. So Norfolk does a really good job on just showing kids with the basic graduation requirements on what core classes are needed.
Now, Mike, can 8th graders use any of their coursework towards this core course?
Yeah, they can use, one of the subjects you typically see is Algebra 1 and possibly like a Spanish 1. In order for it to be used, there has to be a grade as well as a credit value on there for them to be able to use those courses from that 8th grade.
Okay. All right, we also hear a lot of the standardized test, SAT, ACT. Couple questions on that. When should they take it? What test should they take? And then we'll go from there.
I think really in terms of when they should take it really can, vary in terms of when they plan to take maybe an official visit in their senior year, which are the paid visits that, they may experience. So it could be, if they're planning to do an early fall visit, the end of the junior year can be a good idea, or, if they don't plan to do a visit till later on in their senior year, the fall of the senior year is usually a good time. As far as which test, The NCAA recognizes both the SAT and the ACT, and most of your institutions recognize both of those, but I think it's good, depending on where you're looking at going, to check with the university to see which one they may prefer.
All right, so as a coach, how do you counsel your athletes? Obviously, you're going to identify them as potential student athletes because they have to have the ability to perform for that school. What method do you use, and how do you get that message across to them?
Well, the biggest thing is, and I think one of the biggest components of the SAT and ACT is the Algebra 2 component. That's probably the highest math that's used as far as the test. So, we recommend it after they take Algebra 2, which, our students can now take Algebra 2 in the 9th or 10th grade. Most of them are taking it around the 11th grade year. So just monitoring them and making sure that they understand that, they have to take the algebras, the geometries, the Algebra 2s, the U.S. histories, all the courses that are required for them to get NCAA cleared.
All right. Your SAT, ACT, and your GPA, how do they come together? How do they work out together?
The NCAA has what they call a sliding scale, and what they'll do is once you've completed your 16 core courses that are required in order to finalize your academics, they'll look at the core course GPA that we talked about, and then they'll look at the test score. And so it matches on a sliding scale. So for instance, if you have a 2.5 GPA, you're going to need to have at least an 820 SAT or at least an 68 sum score for the ACT. And that can kind of fluctuate. So if you have a better GPA, the score actually can go down a little bit in terms of like the bottom line requirements. So.
But the key thing in there is it's core course, not overall GPA.
Correct.
In that sliding scale. Okay?
Yes,
that's good information to know. I mean, that sometimes can be confusing to some student athletes and even some parents.
All right.
So, all right, moving forward, what are some changes that are coming out with the NCAA in terms of requirements in the future?
Yeah, and for the class of 2016 is when it's going to begin. So, we're just almost right around the corner. What they're doing is they're looking at that class of 16 and beyond is going to have to complete 10 core courses by the end of their junior year, and 7 of those 10 are going to have to be in the subjects of English, math, or science. And then basically those courses are locked in. So, once you've gotten to that point, if you haven't completed 10 core courses or 7 of those 10 after your junior year, there's a chance that you may not be eligible right away. And then the other big change is the GPA for competition. So, if you're looking to compete your first year, you're going to have a minimum core course GPA of 2.30.
Okay.
So
right.
Those are the main kind of points with that new legislation.
So at the school level, we're ready for that, and we're guiding those athletes for these new changes.
Yeah, well, the way it really affects the schools is that now kids just can't go back in their senior year and make classes up. So they have to continuously do what they need to do throughout their high school career. So, I guess our job as coaches to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing in the 9th through 11th grade.
Yeah, start right away when they come in. Mike, a lot of questions parents ask me, probably ask Coach, is scholarship money. And are scholarships guaranteed? Is it for 4 years? Is it for 1 year? Is it for the full amount? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, NCAA legislation does offer the ability for a coach to offer a multi-year scholarship. However, the majority of the scholarships that you're going to see are on a year-by-year basis with an option to renew. So that's usually what most of your coaches look at.
Okay. And do they cover everything?
Yeah, that's probably one of the big questions is does each scholarship cover everything? And, it really doesn't. A full scholarship usually will cover your tuition and fees, room and board, and books, but there is a little bit of the cost of attendance that it does not cover. And then also depending on the sport and also division can also factor in, what the scholarship is. So there are a lot of variables, and the coaches will usually communicate that to you, what they're willing to offer you.
Okay, great. All right, again, a lot of great information. Mike, I mean, it's your world. Tell us these websites that our parents can look at to get all this information currently and then moving forward.
Okay, yeah. The Eligibility Center website, like I had said earlier, is www.eligibilitycenter.org, and that's going to be where, like we talked about, you register, and then once you register, if you look at the resources tab in the account, there's tons of resources, the College Bound Guide, as well as the list of NCA courses. For the class of 2016, we had briefly touched on that legislation and academic standards that are coming up, but there's a website for that specifically, and it's the number 2, the word point, POINT, the number 3.org. So it's 2.3.org.
Okay. All right. Again, I want to thank you for being here. And Norfolk Public Schools also has all this information on NCAA guidelines at their athletic website at nps.k12.va.us. So we're pushing that information out as well. So again, thank you for being here. As always, we want you to check your Big Team websites for all this current information. You can find all the physical information, concussion education information, and all schedules will go live after July 1. More NPS Now after this.
Welcome back to NPS Now. I'm excited to have with me today Matthew Roadruck, Norfolk Public Schools Teacher of the Year from Willard Model Elementary School. Welcome to NPS Now.
Thank you. Honored to be here.
I'm honored to have you here, and we had such a great event, and I was so excited when I heard them call your name.
Yes.
What did you think when they said Matthew Roadruck, Norfolk Public Schools Teacher of the Year?
Originally shocked. I was in disbelief. I was honored. I was humbled. Clearly, I was at a loss for words.
Really? What does this award mean to you?
That I'm doing something right, that I'm being validated for all the work and time that I've put into education so far.
How long have you been with us here in Norfolk Public Schools?
I've just finished my 9th year in Norfolk Public Schools.
Now, have you always been at Willard, or what other schools did you work at?
I've taught 6 years at Dreamkeepers Academy at J.J. Roberts Park Elementary, and then the last 3 years have been at Willard Model Elementary.
Now, how did you get to Norfolk?
When I moved down from Ohio, I interviewed with 2 amazing principals down in Norfolk Public Schools and fell in love with Norfolk. I knew this was the place that I wanted to be. The charisma from those principals and the vision that they had for their schools fell right in line with what I wanted to do for them.
So what did you want to do for them?
I wanted to accomplish a goal. I wanted to become that world class. I wanted to take those students to that cornerstone of the community. I wanted them to find learning as exciting as I do.
So what makes you excited about working here in Norfolk Public Schools? What is it about the students?
Starting with the administration, and then going down to the colleagues I have, going down to the students, that being able to pull from all those great ideas, that excitement that comes from everything is really energizing to me.
And what grades have you taught here in Norfolk?
I did 3 years in 1st grade, and then have just finished my 6th year in 3rd grade.
And you love the kids.
They're amazing.
So are they the reason that what makes you stay here in Norfolk?
They're one of the many reasons. Norfolk Public Schools has given me a job. They've introduced me to friends. They introduced me to my family. Norfolk Public Schools has given me a home. And so everybody together, that whole community, keeps me here.
And I'm sure the kids are excited, your enthusiasm. I mean, like I said, I know you from Dreamkeepers, and the kids loved you there. Give me a typical day in your classroom.
There's going to be action, adventure, mystery, science fiction, musical, foreign language movies. It reads like an entire movie setup. Nothing is ever the same. It's a roller coaster ride. No day is like the day before or even the hour before. It changes. It keeps it new. It keeps it energized.
What makes you come up with the ideas to be so innovative like that?
I think like a student sometimes. I want to be held at the edge of my seat. I want to be captivated. I want something to excite me in the classroom, so I try to give it to them. I try to keep them interested of what I'm teaching them.
A lot of our students are kinesthetic and they like to move around. What do you do in the classroom to keep them engaged or in their seats?
Well, the seat aspect I've changed the last 2 years. I've brought in yoga balls for the kids to sit on to attack that tactile learning, to attack that movement, the kinesthetic piece, to keep them interested in what I'm doing while still not having to worry about what's happening in their seat. That it's not as painful for them to sit in their seat and they can have that fun.
What's the most exciting lesson you think they learned this year that you were working on?
Simple machines. Kids always talk, they always put it into their writings about the simple machines lesson that I teach every year. It's something that I've developed for the last 4 years. I bring in simple machines into the classroom for the kids to utilize. The one that they always talk about, the one that they love to come back to see as soon as they leave 3rd grade, is the pulley system. I have the students connect a pulley system and raise me up to show that they can, a student who's only a 3rd grader, a little 8-year-old, can lift a full-size teacher all the way to the ceiling.
What?
Yes.
Explain how that happens.
When we start talking about the simple machines, how it makes work easier, I have the students try to lift me up. Doesn't work. They're unable to lift me off the ground sitting in a chair. So we introduce them to the pulley system, and I connect a pulley up to the ceiling of the school. And then we wrap the ropes around the pulley system, and I allow 1 student, 2 students, and when they start seeing we can raise Mr. Roadruck up, we add another pulley, and we decrease the number of students that raise Mr. Roadruck up, so they're able to raise me to the ceiling 1 student at a time by adding extra pulleys.
Wow, so this exciting hands-on learning is really inspiring them.
Yes.
Along with the fun environment and your vivacious personality.
Yes.
And fun-loving spirit. So do other teachers come to your classroom and say, hey, Roadruck, give me some ideas?
There's a lot of teachers that stop by. They hear the sounds that are coming out of the classroom. They're hearing the students that go on to 4th, 5th, 6th grade. They come and ask some ideas. The 2nd, 1st grade teachers like to come and ask what kinds of things am I already doing in the classroom so they can incorporate some of that in there. But I also learn from the other classrooms. I see what I'm doing in my classroom, but I'm not the best. I look at what other teachers are doing. I go and steal, copy, and incorporate their ideas that they're doing in the classrooms that I want to aspire to, so I bring their ideas back into my classroom.
So I understand that you've been very successful with your SOLs. Share with us about that.
I push my students. I push them to go farther. I ask them to be better, to do better. I ask them to go after the chase of getting that 100%, to making better than what we did the year before, to be better than the students that just left my class. I've been blessed with having the scores that I've earned. Just like several other teachers in this district, we push the kids to get those scores, and they've come through for me every year.
90% or above?
Last year, 90s, 95s, and 100s.
Wow. You're doing something great, Matthew.
Thank you.
I'm sure other teachers are like, I want to learn from him. And I hope parents are inspired by watching the show today and seeing your enthusiasm. And I know there are many more Matthews walking around here in Norfolk Public Schools.
I hope
What's
so.
one student that has come to you that has just really made you say, this is the reason why I'm in education?
Last year, I received an email from the literacy specialist at J. Cox Elementary. A 5th grade student was asked to prepare for the writing SOL. What inspired her? She wrote her paper on me. The entire paper wrote about the inspiration that she got sitting in my 3rd grade classroom. The very last sentence, after all the things that she was talking about that she really appreciated. The last sentence that she wrote into the paper was that I was the father that she didn't have.
Wow.
So it's those little things.
That's powerful.
I took that writing sample, I showed some of the 5th grade teachers at Willard Model, and they used it as their example to motivate the students that we teach over at Willard. And everybody has really enjoyed reading that paper.
That's powerful.
Yes.
Not only do you affect people academically, but you affect them personally.
Yes.
And that's what I think a teacher's role is anyway.
Yes.
You're a social worker, a nurse, a doctor, a counselor. You all wear many different hats.
I have caused some of the parents to spend a little more money after going through my classroom. By the end of the year, parents are coming in telling me how their kids want to wear ties. They want to wear the bow ties. They want to wear the ties. The new one this year was the kids were buying suspenders for the end of the year awards because they saw me wearing suspenders. So they try to emulate what I do in the classroom.
And that's very interesting because the bow tie you're wearing today is happened to be wooden.
Yes.
Explain that wooden bow tie.
It's kind of like I started off in elementary school being that kinesthetic. When I got to high school, I took woodshop classes, so I love the hands-on working with wood. Started teaching, wearing the regular tie, met a couple teachers, a couple administrators in this district wearing bow ties. Wanted to start wearing the bow tie. Took me a while to figure out how to tie the knot, became a pro at it. I started wanting to be different. What can I do? What sets me apart? Found a wooden bow tie. So now I've been on a mission trying to collect wooden bow ties to set me just a little different. Now all the kids are
going to do that now.
The students were at disbelief at first, like, no, that's not real, that's not real. So I had to let them feel them, see them, and watch me interact with the bow tie. Now they are talking about the wooden bow ties.
You started a trend.
Yes.
I noticed it at the Teacher of the Year event, and I was standing next to you. I'm like, oh, you have on a wooden bow tie. That's really neat, and I like the one you have on today too.
The school board members really enjoyed it. They've always asked, what's the next bow tie? So I've collected a sampling for them next time I see them.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, we were excited for you to be named our Teacher of the Year. That's a great accomplishment. What's the next step? What's the next thing for you to accomplish?
For me, there's always something else I want to do. I'm never satisfied with being finished. There's, okay, what can I do to do this one thing better? What can I make to make this easier? The big thing right now, I'd like to bring back that Norfolk, or the State Teacher of the Year award back to Norfolk. I'd like to bring that back. That'd be a great accomplishment for us.
And that most definitely would be, and it's a great testament to your hard work and the many years you've been here, and we're very proud of you and excited for you to represent us from Norfolk. Thank you, Mr. Roadruck, for joining us today and getting a chance to meet you and talk to you up close and personal.
Thank you.
Thank
It's
you.
been a pleasure.
Great to have you. And we want to thank you for watching NPS Now. You can watch us weekly on WNPS Channel 47 or watch us online at WNPSK12.com. Again, we want to thank you for watching NPS Now.